Right, so a favourite, the hip car. So we're going from standing. I like to go PVC pipes when I'm training. I won't use these in the morning for a morning session unless I've got them out for a client. Yeah, it's PVC pipes are the ideal. Leaning on a door, wherever you're happy, just popping a hand on. And again, whatever side you want to go from. So if you want to go hand on wall side, so that side, hands on the wall, go for it. If you want to test yourself going the other way, go for it, okay? I would say at first, always use something, or it might be something in front of you, to help to stabilize, all right? This is about training the hip that is moving, okay? You're going to get a little bit of a stimulus through the standing leg as well. Like we said before, everything is in play. But for other, if we're trying to stimulate the body differently, then we would go, say, for a hip car without holding on to anything and do it a little bit differently. Okay, so trying to find a support is really, really handy. More than handy. It's a very, very good idea. It's not cheating. So we'll go right side first. I start to pull up into flexion. Again, a great car movement to feel the pulling with the closing angle tissue. So I'm not thinking knee from A to B or foot from A to B. I'm going to think to start with, I'm going to go here so I can use my hand. I'm going to pull through here. So I start to pull through this tissue here. We can start to bring some really good awareness to when my pelvis wants to start to get involved. Excuse me. As I pull up into flexion or my lower back. And then, or my lower back wants to get overly involved. Then I start to rotate more. So rotation is going to show as the foot pulling towards the ceiling. I'm trying to rotate at the hip to drive it. Now I start to open up the hip. So now I'm pulling with this tissue here more and this tissue on the top to keep flexion. Now you're going to start to rotate. So what does that look like? The foot is going to start to drag under the knee and this way. So now I'm internally rotating and pulling into this tissue. Pulling, 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 and then you're going to make your way down as you're doing that. It's almost going to drive that motion of the knee pulling down towards the other knee. I'll now go another rep without the chat so you can see it. Now we'll go back the other way. So this position here is good to show side on. So we think extension of the hip here. A lot of people sort of start back here. So trying to get back here. You've got a lot more space at the hip to move through these ranges. It's where we spend a lot of time. Unfortunately now, obviously, the old sitting down, right? So access to extension we want, okay? But as you can see, I think this is about me here-ish without getting that complement from here, all right? Up into the pelvis, up into the lower back, which combined to allow us to walk, to run, definitely want that nice synergy between all those joints. But often it's a hip that cannot express this or the rotation as well, that then puts excessive load on SI joint and up into the lower back. Okay, so from there I pull down, and you can think of just a little tuck just to bring some awareness to that if you want. I'm not tucking right underneath here, but a little tuck just to bring some awareness to movement at the pelvis. And then as you can see, my heel just starts to pull towards the outside, which is this rotation at the hip. Okay, then I start to open up the hip. As I do, I'm now going to start to pull the knee towards the ceiling. As you can see, my foot's going to start to drag underneath the knee. I hit almost this corner of the movement here. So opened up, pulling through here and here. Pull across the top of the rep. Rotate. Pull back down. I'll go through another rep that way without the chat. as I do, the concept of pulling into my hip car is hopefully in my head. So what do I mean by that? The body's going to want to be efficient. So as I pull here, it's going to want to go there. It's going to want to go, I'll exaggerate this so you can see it. It's going to want to go here. Yeah, here, here, pull back down. Yeah, it's going to want to almost create all these like nice like movements to balance out what I'm doing to be more efficient. This is the beauty of what we're trying to do right now, is we're trying to do the flip side. We're trying to be inefficient to drive changes in loading of tissue, our ability, to load tissue. So then we can bring a better hip to walking, running, squatting, whatever it is you love to do. Okay, so that's your standing hip car. I hope this stuff's making sense. I just show you again some of the compensations that I see a lot of. So as you pull into flexion, just be mindful of this motion here. So I start to tuck here, or it might be, say, the pelvis starts to go here more. Okay, you try and bring that little bit of awareness and balance to the movement. Pull through this tissue. As we start to go here, we might get some of this. Just trying to pose it. Stay nice and tall and strong here. Pulling towards the outside. You might start to rotate here. Again, trying to pose it. Squeeze the leg. Strong through the spine. This is where anchoring knees into the floor can really help. And then as I rotate here, we get a lot of the pelvis dumping here. Okay? Again, I'm exaggerating that so you can see what I'm talking about. To finish off, as you come to the bottom of the rep, we see a lot of this. Okay? That motion there. So we're thinking we are trying to train the hip. We're not trying to be really, really balanced. Well, we are trying to be balanced. We're not trying to be efficient. Okay? Hope that concept's making a little bit of sense. Yeah. Hip car from standing. Take it easy.